All right. Hey, everybody. It is Jeffrey Jansen. We are live today. It is Monday, September 14th, 2020. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I hope your day has started out really great. It's really nice outside today. It gets a little loud. I apologize. I got my dad's outside mowing the lawn right now. Anyway, I wanted to talk with everybody today to let you know, first off, like I always like to get started off saying, is letting you know that you matter, that you're important. However, since this is coming into the fall season, we got politics coming up, we've got all kinds of different things going on right now with the coronavirus and everything else. The first thing I want to tell you right now, the best thing you can do is if you have kids, every day let your kids know that you love them, that you're proud of them. You don't know from day to day what's going on. You don't know from day to day if they just kind of need that extra push, okay? Make sure you give your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, or boyfriend, do those little extra things. I know people say all the time, well, that's not me. Well, you do realize that there's always going to be somebody out there waiting for you not to do those things. So it's good to actually do the little things, tell them you love them, do little bits of nothing that don't mean much to anybody else other than you and her, or you and him, or you and your kids. Because you never know what's going to happen from day to day. Coming off of September 11th, we all know that, on September 10th, it was just a regular, ordinary day. I was deployed over to Kosovo, not much going on. All of a sudden, September 11th happens. We are the most forward deployed unit, and the rest is history. So each and every day, you don't know what's going to happen. These wildfires out in California, our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to all the firemen and the people that's homes and businesses are in the paths of these wildfires. All right? So I just wanted to get that off my mind. I wanted to get that out there. Next, I want everybody to know this. You have to do something every day that you can be remembered by. That you actually know that you matter. Don't just go out there and think you matter. Whether it's being kind to somebody that's on the street, maybe, giving some motivation to somebody, maybe just telling somebody, hey, I'm a friend and I'm here for you. Every day is going to require a little bit of that. Maybe there's somebody that's going for that job. Give them a little extra oomph to go after that job. Maybe they're in college and because of the coronavirus, they can't get around all their friends like they normally would and they're stressing out. Just be a friend. Tell them to calm down. Tell them they're great. Okay? And, these little things, push yourself every day in life to go further, farther, to do more every single day. All right? Because if you don't, eventually you're just going to sit there like, I don't know what to do. Because every day that you sit there, it's easy to sit and not do anything at all. You've got to get out, get up, get going, do something. Kindness with communication is what we call it. Okay? Now, tonight we have a Marine Corps League meeting. The Gem City Detachment 790 will be meeting tonight at Lake Illinois, at the Illinois Veterans Home in Quincy, Illinois, at the Shelter House. Make sure you come. It's at 1900, basically 7 p.m. for all you non-military minded people. Okay, and we were going over a bunch of stuff, so make sure you're there. Make sure you come on out. All right. Also, what are you doing today that's making a difference? Did you make your bed this morning? Did you brush your teeth? Did you get up? Did you get some food in your system? I mean, it's already 2 o'clock now, okay? 1400 right now. So what are you doing today to make your life better? All right? And what are you doing did you go outside? Did you get the mail in? Did you read a good book? Did you read, I always tell everybody, read 11 good pages of a good book. Maybe get your workout in the morning. Like I go running in the morning whenever I get a chance. I do running, I do push-ups, I do sit-ups, I do pull-ups. I don't weight lift, and if I can swim, I'd rather be swimming, and if I can rock climb, I'd like to be rock climbing. So, like I said, get your workout in. Workouts don't take that long, you just have to do it to get your body moving, to get that blood flowing, all right? Making your bed means you accomplish something, so when you go to bed at night, look, you got something accomplished today, okay? Now, today I want to go over real quick with you, and if anybody wants this, or if anybody wants me to do it up for them, we can. I want to go over what a will is. You can do a will on your own, okay? And I'm just going to let everybody know that right now, that you can actually do a will on your own. But everybody's been asking me to do a will workshop, a kind of like deal. What is a will? Will is what your last testaments are. The very last thing. Everybody thinks it's what you have. All my videos that I do, I leave over to my daughter, okay? So she gets to see who I am a little bit there and there. I actually do videos whenever I do will workshops and whatever I'm doing. So today I'm going to do a free will workshop. Right now, I'm going to do one on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And I'm going to basically tell you exactly what a will and will workshop does. Sorry, I get distracted easy. So whenever you're doing a will, remember this. It's not about what you have all the time, okay? A will can basically state in there, look at my phone, I left a video for you, okay? Maybe you have something that your kids want nobody else would ever want. I remember with my grandma Jansen when she died, I wanted a couple statues of hers nobody else wanted. She had me put my name on it. She put it in her will that those go to Jeff, and they went directly to me, okay? So what I want to do is I want to show you how a will can be done within 3 minutes technically, okay? Even some cases 5 minutes. When people get distracted, it means they're getting into their healthcare power of attorney. They're getting in the more complicated parts of a living will or your healthcare power of attorney. And that's not what we're working on. We're only doing the will right now, okay? A will is very simple. And in fact, with our company, you can actually do it right on your phone too. You just push a couple buttons, okay? So, simple this, okay? What is your full name? Great, put your full name down. Okay, what is your age, your birth date? Are you male or female? Are you a U.S. citizen? Okay, current resident, you'll put your address down. The reason why all this has nothing to do with anything other than who you are, okay? It doesn't go anywhere else, okay? Okay, if you're married, you want to put your spouse's name on, her date of birth or his date of birth, the place of marriage. Maybe you have a domestic partner. You want to put your domestic partner on there, okay? Do you and your spouse have a prenuptial agreement? Okay, yes or no. Simple as that. Most of you will not have a prenup. Prenups are not a very common thing. I know our company does them at no extra charge, but that's something that you have to decide. If either you or your spouse has ever been divorced before, have you ever been married before, divorced before? Okay, they want the dates and stuff like that. Simple. Have you or your spouse created in any trust or made gifts through trust? Like if you know what a trust is, by the way, we do trusts also. But if you don't know what a trust is, something you leave behind for your kids or somebody you care about, or maybe you put your money in it. Anyway, it's one of those things. If you don't know what it is, it's okay. We will explain it to you, okay? Do you or your spouse ever have an inheritance before, okay? If yes, state by whom. The reason why you got to put all your stuff down here is because people will come and they'll try to argue about what things are and what they're not. So you want to make sure you put that in there. You put in all your kids, their full names. Maybe if you got deceased children, you have to put those in there too. Biologically adopted children, foster children, if you have stepchildren, if you have grandchildren, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they're doing their wills, and I ask people to get their wills done, they say, well, I've already got a will. Problem is, they did their wills like 20 years ago. Now, think about that for a minute. 20 years ago, their kids were probably still living at home, and there's a whole different attribute. You can actually change and get your will updated and everything. That's why I always tell people to get their wills updated, okay? I'm going to update. I've already updated my will again. You know, I redid my will. My dad, a couple days ago, redid his will completely and all of his stuff. And I completely redid my will. And the reason why we do this is so that when we have a general power of attorney or somebody else, maybe we're not dead, maybe something else has happened, that they can see what our wishes are and they can fulfill our wishes by what we're asking when we're not able to. Okay, that's why I always tell everybody when you're doing a will, also have a video going so people can see what you mean and what you want to do. This is not a will, by the way. This is me explaining to you some of the stuff that are in a will. Are any of your children beneficiaries or have like physically or mentally disabled or have any special needs? If your children are under the age of 18, the following person will act as their guardian. Okay, simple as that. Do you want to appoint a guardian also to be the trustee of any assets or inheritance to the minor child? In other words, if somebody else dies after you or something goes on, do you want your kids to manage it or do you want them to manage it for your children, okay? Indicate how you want your assets to be passed on when you die. Simple as that. You know, option A, B, and C, but, you know, we go into a little more detail. But these are just simple, basic questions. Do you wish to disinherit any children or grandchildren? If so, list their names here. If not applicable, please go to question 17, okay? Execution of a will is the best way to determine how your property will be distributed. So you and your assets. When I get over to the next page, I'm going to tell you something very important that you must put in a will at all times that a lot of people don't know about. If married or your spouse still alive, do you want your spouse to serve as your personal representative or the executor of the will? Many people make special provisions for family heirlooms, jewelry, and other items. Put them down. List what you got. Put them down. Make sure people know what they are, okay? List the estimated value of your assets, home, car, stuff like that. List your estimated debt, if you got any debt, and then sign it, okay? And that's all it is. It literally takes 5 minutes to do, all right? because not that anything about your stuff, but guess what? Maybe your kids want something special. They have something special. Maybe you got an old car you want to leave them, or maybe precious moment collections, or maybe statues of some sort, certain pictures, okay, things like that. But I also want people to know this. Right now, in the internet days, with identity and stuff like that, you also have your social media. So you want to make sure to list on who is in charge of your social media, what happens to your social media when you have it. But I think one of the best things is a lot of us were organ donors, okay? And what we don't know is we think by being an organ donor, we're leaving our organs to little Sally or little Bobby, and oh, we're going to save all these lives. Well, here's the catch. We leave ourselves, we're organ donors, and we leave them to the hospital. Thing about it is, very rarely are we a match to little Bobby or little Susie, or are we compatible with certain people, or maybe there's something wrong. And the hospital, then, what they do is they turn around. One of the things that they do is they sell all of our body parts. So when you're an organ donor, the hospital turns around and sells all. If you're an organ donor, they basically make a profit off of your body. So in your will, you want to put down that if the hospital makes a profit, that you want that going towards your bills paid, so your kids, grandkids, whatever else, or somebody else is trying to pay the bills for the hospital, they have a little bit of time to be like, hey, look, I don't know if this is possible in the state or not, and I'm not even sure if it's legal or not, but hey, if my body gets sold for any reasons whatsoever, I do not want the hospital to gain all the money. I would like part of that money to pay my hospital bills. If you're nice enough to leave your body, because they sell it to science, they give your blood, bone marrow, your hearts. Sometimes they sell them to schools and colleges that pay top dollar for these things. Okay, and they rake in a lot of money. Your body alone, alive, you may not be worth that much. I get that, but dead, you're worth a lot more. And I'm a big advocate on letting people know that maybe it's possible, maybe not. But if you got it in the will, at least you can go back and say, hey, even if my body is sold to science, and I left it free. Here I'm an organ donor. I want to help as many people as I can. That's great, but a lot of people don't know that those organs get sold, and it's a multi-billion-dollar business. You can go look it up anywhere you want. That's fine, and I recommend people anything I say. I want them to look up and take a look at for themselves. But know this: that if anything were to be sold, you deserve to have part of your hospital bills paid, so that your kids or your loved ones or the state does not have to take on that financial burden of paying those bills. I know that when my mom died of cancer, it was very, very costly, because cancer is not cheap. Okay, let's put it that way. And after she died, it took my dad almost 20 years to pay back the hospital and everything just for what they spent. You can get new houses, new cars for what medical costs. So make sure to put that in your will. The next important thing I'm going to tell you right now is when you're doing your will, your healthcare power of attorney, do a video. Do a video and leave it to your kids. Make sure that they know that they matter, okay? At the very last stage of your life, things may have got out of hand. You may not have met it, but at least you can go back to that will, that you can look at that video. And kind of like with my daughter. And I'll do one real quick just so you understand what it is. And this is just a mock trial, okay? This is just something mock so that you can understand how this is. And usually I go on there and I'm like, Gracie, this is your dad. I want you to know no matter what, I love you with my entire heart. Everything I ever did was to protect you, to keep you safe, to make sure that you could progress in life the best way you can. I've always been proud of you. I've always loved you. Now, granted, we didn't always see eye to eye. I can't help it. That's just how parents are with their kids. But we've always loved each other, and I've always had your back. I've always been there for you. I've never been your friend. I've been your dad. I've been your parent. What that means is when everybody else is gone, I'm still going to be there. I'm going to fight for you till the day I'm dead, and even longer if I can. The whole idea, Gracie, is I want you to know I love you. I care about you. Now, I left the will. So basically this is going to go on right now. One, if you're on this, Gracie, and you're watching this, and there's nothing wrong with me, that means you're not supposed to be on here. Two, if you're seeing this, it's because I'm either in the hospital or something bad has happened and you have to know where my will and my healthcare power of attorney is. Here's where it's at. I want you to go in the refrigerator. I want you to go to the top shelf. I keep all my vital information on top shelf of the refrigerator. That way, if anybody needs it, it's right there. It's very easy accessible. In that, you'll find out where all my other stuff is, and you'll find out what is left. Gracie, I want you to know that I love you with my entire heart. You've been my little girl my entire life. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and as you've gotten older, I've watched you grow, and I've been very, very proud. Take care of your sister. Make sure your sister's always taken care of because she is your little sister. Now, granted, she may not be my daughter, but I love her just like she is my daughter. Gracie, know that no matter what, I'm going to always be here. I can't always win every battle, but you know what? The war is always going to go on. And I always want you to know that no matter what, I've always been proud of you. End. Okay, so that's how you do it. You just basically leave something. Now, I could set anything I wanted in there. And then you store that away. You put it under a heading or something that you want it. You put it on a hard drive. You put it in the cloud. Wherever you want to put it, that'd be fine. But the whole idea is you're leaving something behind for your daughter. I also let my daughter know that I'm a Roman Catholic. I let her know that, you know, all the different things I did. I let her know I'm a very proud Marine. There's stuff in that area also. You know, I let her know that Quincy is probably one of the greatest hometowns there is, even though it gets on your nerves at times. When you leave and come back, you'll find out that it's probably one of the greatest towns there is in the United States, or at least because I grew up here. Okay? I let her know that my family comes from the farm, but it also comes from the city. You know, just little things to let them know who you are. Like somebody like my dad and my family, they're very quiet. And so for them to do something like this may be a little bit more difficult, but it's worthwhile in the end. Okay? So that's kind of just in the gist. I just wanted to give everybody a gist of doing a will, healthcare power of attorney. Now, healthcare power of attorney will be different. That's where you're, you know, who pulls the plug, you know, what kind of medicines you get, if you're in a coma, if you're basically brain's alive but body is not, you know, what kind of medications you're going to get, what kind of feeding tubes, stuff like that. That's separate. That we do next, but not right now. I'm just saying when I do your will and healthcare power of attorney. So we do your original will. We get everything down. It is completely confidential. You can actually go to Jeff Jansen .info if you want, or go to jeffjansen.org. And if you give me a call, I can get your will done for about $18 to $24, whatever you want. And once your will's done, that's it. That's all it costs, and it's good for life. Now, if you stick with us, we'll update it every year at no charge, okay? But I'm just saying right now is a good time to have your will and your healthcare power of attorney done. So if this interests you, go ahead. If not, at least write out something in a notebook somewhere. You know, put something somewhere, because after you get your will done, you will have to have it notarized, okay? And if you want lawyers to do it, then they are actually going to represent your will, meaning that if somebody tries to argue or go against your will, which happens all the time, those lawyers will be like, nope, they wrote this will, this is what it is, this is what it's going to be, and nobody else can say otherwise because you had a witness, you were there, and your lawyers are there to defend it. So, all right, if anybody has any questions, make sure to inbox me. You can actually send it to my new email it's Jeff, Jeff, at jeffjansen.biz. So Jeff, Jeff, the @ JEFFJANSEN.biz. And we'll get your will and your healthcare power of attorney done. If you need any type of legal, we get that done too. I may do another segment on that coming up. So anyway, thanks everybody. I hope you're having a great Monday. Let's get this Monday started right. Have a great day. Tell your kids you love them. Tell your husband and wife you love them. Remember, each and every day you matter and you are important. Thanks everybody.